What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into episode number 681 of Underground Sports Philadelphia, presented by the city of Vineland. It's your boy KB coming at you solo dolo from Underground Studios. We got an Eagles win to talk about, and by the way that social media and everything being put out about this team is being perceived, you would be surprised that we have an Eagles win to talk about. I'm going to break down just the craziness of how this game is being interpreted, how people are missing out on the key factors of what resulted from this game. There's some key injuries on this team leaving this game against the Cleveland Browns that we're not talking about because we're distracted by the quote-unquote antics of the head coach. I'll give my thoughts on everything there. I'll try to break down the game a little bit. You can probably hear it in my voice if you're just listening on audio. If you're watching on video, I apologize. I know I look terrible in the face. From Wednesday on to Sunday, I was absolutely worn down. I lost my voice at NLDS Game 2 at Citizens Bank Park, and from there my body was like, hey, buddy, we're going to hit you. We're going to smack you right in the mouth. And I came down with a rough sinus infection, head pounding for days on end, nose clogged up, ears clogged up. And Saturday night, I battled through to watch the Flyers game to try and post to make sure I didn't miss out on Michkov's first point. Didn't miss it. And then I went to bed right after the game around midnight. And then I woke up at 3 p.m. I slept for 15 hours. I missed the entirety of the game pretty much. I listened to the tail end of the third quarter and the fourth quarter as I rose from the dead and showered myself to life. But I caught up on the bits and pieces that were important. There's some cool moments from this game. It was good to have A.J. Brown back. Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell are unbelievable. And Jalen Hurts had his best game of the season, which just continues to blow my mind that we're not talking about it. But we'll break it all down. But, of course, before we get started, make sure you guys are following us on the socials. Search Underground Sports Philadelphia, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, Twitch, LinkedIn. We're on every social media platform known to man. Threads as well. You can follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311 and KBIZZLE11 on Instagram and Threads. Subscribe to the podcast feed. I know I said on the last episode that our Spotify distribution was down from our host site. It is back up. So if you're a Spotify listener, welcome back. Happy to have you back. It was a short hiatus, but we are back up and rolling. Subscribe to the podcast feed on Apple and Spotify. It really does help when you guys subscribe. Leave those 5-star ratings and reviews. It goes a long way for helping the show continue to grow. Helps more people find Underground Sports Philadelphia and lets us keep doing more dope stuff with and for you guys. And, of course, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. I know when we say to subscribe, it probably drives you nuts, but it really does. Like, we need to hone it into everybody. We're 151 subscribers away from the big 1,000, which is like the first huge milestone on YouTube. It allows us to fully monetize the channel. It opens up a new revenue source for us here at the company, and it allows us to do a lot more with our YouTube audience when we are monetized and when we have the 1,000 plus subscriber milestone. So subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. Leave a like on the video. Drop a comment down below. When you comment, it gets the video in the algorithm more. And, of course, click the bell icon so you know whenever new videos go live. And be a friend, tell a friend, share the channel with your friends, with your family. And let's get this channel up to 1,000+ subscribers. We're going to be posting the original Kanto Pokédex countdown in reverse order from 151 to 1 on our way to 1,000 subscribers. So we're Mew subscribers away from 1,000. So let's get to 1,000 subscribers. And of course, guys, this show is presented by the City of Vineland and the City of Vineland Municipal Calendar. Features city-organized, city-sponsored, and city-affiliated events that are of public interest. The calendar, which is accessible at vinelandcity.org, is a good way for residents and visitors to build awareness, remain engaged with city government, and participate in local events. You can also follow the City of Vineland on social media via their Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube pages. And through these tools, you can stay connected to the community and get important announcements about programs and services offered by the city. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. A big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. Let's do it. Eagles win. It was ugly. It was a couple plays away from not being ugly. But the Eagles win against the Browns 20-16. And I feel like so much is being overshadowed in this game simply because Nick Sirianni decided to jaw back and forth with a couple fans with 50 seconds remaining in the game. The fact that the people who cover this team are so dense and are so just lost on the overall just like disdain for Nick Sirianni. Like, they've lost the plot of this team. So, and it's not everybody that cover. There's a lot of great people who cover the Eagles, but there are, you know, the ones. There are people that cover this team that have lost the plot on covering the Philadelphia Eagles. They no longer choose to cover the team. They no longer choose to cover what happens on the field. They are choosing to cover narratives that get people stirred up, that get people to click on articles to get angry, and get people to call in to that local radio station that just spews a hatred cesspool whenever a minutia of things go wrong with this Eagles football team. Jalen Hurts had his best game of the season. 16 of 25, 264 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, had 33 rushing yards on 14 carries, and no turnovers. Isn't that the thing that we've been clamoring for this whole season so far, is for Jalen Hurts to fix the issue with the turnovers? Isn't that the thing that so many people have said, it feels like a lost cause? Jalen Hurts, maybe he's not the guy because he turns the ball over and he speaks in poems and all this jargon, all this word vomit from so many people, just trying to stir up controversy like a witch in a cauldron because it's October. Jalen Hurts had his best game in a long time. Granted, last year, injured most of the season, was playing with a not 100% healthy knee. That is a vital part of Jalen Hurts' game and a vital part of playing a contact sport and being able to move around to dodge 300-plus pound guys that are running and chasing after you so that they can make their paychecks. And yet we want to criticize the guy because he's better than 65% of the quarterbacks in the NFL, if not more. And when he goes and has his best game, that narrative fades, and we deflect our anger and attention when there shouldn't be any. Can you be frustrated that the Eagles did not beat the Browns by more points? Absolutely. Here's the takeaway, though. The Eagles gave up 7 points on special teams. They gave up 6 points on offense. Sorry, I should say the field goal as well. Okay? They gave up the field goal, however you want to calculate the field goals there. They gave up 9 points on offense. The Eagles' defense did not give up a touchdown in this game. No offensive touchdowns were scored by the Cleveland Browns in this football game. That's a win. Jalen Hurts did not turn over the football in this game. That's a win. A.J. Brown played in this football game for the first time in this hemisphere in 2024 and for the 2024 season and looked like A.J. Brown. That's a win. Devontae Smith coming back from a concussion. 3 catches, 64 yards, and a touchdown. That's a win. Grant Calcaterra stepping up when Dallas Goedert comes up with a hamstring injury. 4 catches for 67 yards. That is a win. Offensively, the only deterrent from this game was that Saquon Barkley had a down game, but guess what? The passing game picked up where Saquon was inefficient. The Browns said, hey, we're gonna hone in on the run game and hold Saquon to 2.6 yards a carry. We're going to make the Eagles pass on us and beat us, and they did just that. Was it pretty? No. But guess what? They showcased a lot of positive things on the offensive side of the ball in this game. Jalen Hurts was efficient. He was great. He was able to move the ball around. He was able to run the ball. He got the ball to his receivers. And guess what? Devontae Smith was the 3rd leading receiver. He used his tight end in this game. Would you have liked to have seen him pass the ball more in the middle of the field to a Grant Calcaterra, to have Jahan Dotson run over the middle a little bit? Yes, of course, that you always want more. But from what we got in a game like this, where we didn't know what to expect coming off the bye, like I said, A.J. Brown has not played in this hemisphere this season. He has not played in this continent this season. Devontae Smith is coming off a concussion. You didn't know what to expect from Devontae coming back in his first game action. Lane Johnson was back in this game. That's a win. And yet here we are. Rather than building up the positives on the offensive side of the ball, that has been the big old, let's harp on the offense. The offense can't get it done. Let's harp on it. And I'm not saying they've been great. They have been frustrating, and outside of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, they should have won the Falcons game for sure. The Bucs game, I chalked that up as a loss from the get-go when you knew the guys weren't going to be playing that did not play in that game. Whatever. The fact that this town is so hell-bent on just dragging people down on these sports teams, and there are normal people out there like you and I listening to this show who are not like that, who are going to take away the positives here, who are going to say, hey, Jalen Hurts played well. Hey, Jalen Hurts didn't turn the ball over. That's a good sign. That's a positive progression. A.J. Brown looked great in his return from a hamstring injury. That's a great sign. Grant Calcaterra proved that if Dallas Goedert goes down, they can throw him the ball. That's a good sign. This is also nothing to snooze on. The Browns were a top 10 passing defense coming into this game. They were the number 8 passing defense in the NFL coming into this game. And everyone was trying, it's the Browns. The Browns' offense is what stinks. The defense is pretty formidable, especially against the pass. And their defense dared the Eagles to beat them in the passing game, and they stepped up to the challenge, and they did just that. Should there have been more points on the board in different aspects? Sure. But guess what? The offense did what they had to do to win. They sealed the deal with a big, gutsy play call that everyone, if Doug Peterson calls that play call at the end of the game of Jalen Hurts throwing the ball to A.J. Brown down to the 10-yard line or whatever it was, everyone say, big balls Doug, he did it again, Doug Peterson did it. Myself included. That would have been like, oh, Doug Peterson, that's his type of play. This coaching staff calls it, whether it's Sirianni or Kellen Moore, whoever's calling the plays, because nobody seems to know. That's, oh my God, that could have been a disaster. What are we doing throwing there? But it's crazy to me that every play this team calls now, there's got to be an alternate universe take on what could have been. Guess what? We're not in that universe. We're not there. It's insane. Take what is given to you, talk about what is displayed, and move forward with it. There's no revisionist history. There's no what if. This is not the MCU. We don't have Jeffrey Wright and the Watcher looking over to change the course of history of a game. What happened, happened. You take it for what it is, and you dissect what happened. You don't talk about how a throw like that at the end of the game could have cost you if. There's no if. No if happened. It blows my mind. And defensively, this Eagles team, we got some young pups in that secondary. Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean are some wham bam thank you ma'am rock stars in the making back there. And I love that they jersey swapped after the game. They talked about how they came in to the league together, same position group. We're going to do this together. That is team chemistry. That is foundation. That is a huge positive sign from two rookie players, two young, budding stars in this league that play for your franchise, that everyone will say, oh, that's a cool story. That is awesome. I don't care how surface level it is. I don't care how maybe tacky it sounds. For those two to recognize that, hey, we're coming into the league together. We're coming in to do this together. That is the semblance of team, foundation, and camaraderie for years to come. And I am so happy that those two are teammates. That is so cool. And I love that they have that close of a connection and friendship and relationship and teammate aspect already. Because guess what? It's only going to grow. It's only going to blossom. And I love it. And those two are playing extremely well. And for this to be Cooper's first start, and for him to play that well, he was arguably the best player on the defense in this game. That's a great sign for him stepping up to the plate, getting the call up to say, hey, you're going to be our starting nickel corner. And he played a damn awesome football game. That is a positive. Bryce Huff. I've been very vocal about the Bryce Huff signing. I saw some breakdowns. I saw some tweets from Zach Berman. I saw some Baldy breakdowns. Bryce Huff was in more of a 4-point stance in this game rather than an outside linebacker. And guess what? He played better. And if that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do to get the young man rolling. Put him in positions that he is comfortable with. It's a positive sign to see him making progressions. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis played extremely well in this game. Zach Bond continues to be a certified dog and knows how to make tackles. 4 more tackles for Zach Bond in this game. There is so much positive to take away from this game. And we're hyper fixated on a little clip of Nick Sirianni jawing back at some fans. That is what is going to turn everyone away from what just happened. It's hard to win in the NFL. Don't get me wrong. And I know last year jaded a lot of people. You know, the Eagles go 10-1, they're winning, and it's like, hey, they found a way. And it didn't go that way at the end of the season. For them to just be all in and as the emergency alert system goes off on the television. Okay, like I get last season jaded a lot, but this is a new season. This is a different team. There's different players, different coaches. Like, I get Sirianni's still here. I get people are frustrated with it. But, guys, the fact that so many people took that Sirianni clip and took, like, offense to it, guess what? Should he have done it? Probably not. But is that going to take away from the fact that this team won a football game coming off the bye and showed a lot of positive signs progressing forward? Gave up no points on defense. You know, if you want to count the field goal, sure. They gave up no touchdowns, I should say, on defense. Defense gives up no touchdowns. Jalen Hurts does not turn the ball over. A.J. Brown looked good coming off of a hamstring injury. Lane Johnson was back. Devontae Smith was back and looked healthy coming off a concussion that was pretty scary against the Saints. Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean look like amazing young players on this defense. And we're going to bury all of that underneath Nick Sirianni emotional blow up at home. I don't understand a lot of this fan base anymore. I genuinely don't. And then, you know, Sirianni brings his kids up at the press conference. Guys, I understand if you just became an Eagles fan this year and you don't understand it. The old men and old farts, I'm going to call them the old farts, who are just yelling at the clouds about Nick Sirianni bringing his kids up to the podium. Get a grip. This was not a shield tactic. He was not using the kids to deflect away from answering questions. Nick Sirianni brings his kids up to the podium all the time. And as somebody who has had the privilege to be in a number of press conferences himself and had athletes bring their kid to the podium, I have no issue with it. I have no... These athletes and coaches and everyone involved in a major sports team, do you understand? We will never directly understand. But do you understand how long they are away from their families? Look at this Eagles opening slate to the season. They were in Brazil. They had 2 road preseason games. Then they were in Brazil. Then they have a Monday night football game in the beginning of September. Oh, that's right. School started Monday night. Then they're on the road in New Orleans, in Tampa Bay. Then they have a bye week, and then they're home. I think Nick Sirianni being around his kids is totally normal. And for a guy who spent 2 straight weeks down south on the road, sure, they had the bye. But guess what? He's taking an opportunity, and he showcases how much of a family man he is every single week. This is not the first time he's brought his kids to the podium either. Okay? It's not that big of a deal. Don't act like being in a press conference room is this sanctuary. It is a privilege for you as a member of the media to be in there in the first place. So don't go out on Twitter and people who aren't even in the room calling it unprofessional and this, that, and the third. If you're not even in the room, shut your mouth. And if you have a problem with it, maybe don't show up to the press conference, because you don't have to be there. You are afforded the opportunity to be there. And that is how I approach any press conference I'm in. I've been afforded the opportunity to sit in that room, to sit on that Zoom call. It is not a right. Sure, you have a job to do, but being in a press conference only enhances your job. It does not make your job. And I hate that media members who are older than me, that have been kind of raised through the old guard, feel like being in a press conference is this right that they're entitled to. No. Whoever walks up to that podium can choose to do whatever they want. Look at Marshawn Lynch. Look at Kevin Durant. Look at anybody who walks up to a podium. They have the right to say whatever they want to you. And will they face a fine if it doesn't meet a certain criteria? Sure. But that's on them. They have to be there. You as a member of the media are afforded the right with your press credential. And it drives me crazy, the entitlement that some members of the media have. It drives me absolutely insane. How would I grade this win? We also have voicemails on this episode. Leave us a voicemail. Speakpipe.com/Underground Sports Philadelphia. Speakpipe.com/Underground Sports Philadelphia. Leave us a voicemail throughout the week. We'll play them on episodes as they come through. We have a couple voicemails that were left after the game and their thoughts on the game that we'll play as well. But was this win peaches and cream? No. It was a gritty, churn it out, gutsy type of win, but you got the job done. You got the job done. At the end of the day, the W is in the W column for the Eagles. The L is in the L column for the Cleveland Browns. I don't care. It's not college football. There's no style points. Score differential against common opponents is probably the 97th tiebreaker in the NFL. It doesn't matter if you beat the Browns by 4 or you beat the Browns by 30. You beat the Browns. So you have that common win in place, just like every team in the division does. Okay? Before we get to voicemails, I want to talk to you guys about... I'm so happy about this. I want to talk to you guys about a brand new partner joining us here at Underground Sports Philadelphia. And it is a special brand partnership that for years I have talked about being a white whale, being a tent pole brand to work with. It is a dream brand to work with. And I'm wearing it right now. Shirt, hat. This brand is something that I've been a fan of since before Underground Sports Philadelphia existed. I've been a fan of them since my days of working at PacSun as a 16-year-old. I've been a fan of them even beforehand. I've been a fan of them since. They are a must-stop whenever I'm at Citizens Bank Park out in left field. And to say that we are officially in their partner program is awesome, and I think it's just the beginning and just the surface level of what I think we are capable of doing with this brand. And I am thrilled to announce that Underground Sports Philadelphia is partnered with 47 brand. Ladies and gentlemen, we got them. 47 brand is officially a brand partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. I am over the moon, beyond speechless about this. 47 brand has the most comfortable hats, the coolest styles of apparel, headwear for all of your favorite sports teams, all your favorite sports leagues. Genuinely, you can find a style and a piece of apparel, a piece of headwear for any sports fan out there with 47 brand. And I'm pumped that we are going to be working with them. Pumped that we can promote a brand that we believe in and have believed in even before they got on board with us. And that is the cool part about doing this media thing, is working with brands that you believe in as a consumer. And I've believed in 47 brand, and ever since I hopped back on LinkedIn, I sought out anybody that worked at 47 brand, and I stumbled upon their president, Dominic Farrell, who is just an amazing dude. And I would love to get him on this show to talk about 47 brand, and just seeing the way that he's built a company and an empire of apparel and fandom, and it's all through the expression of clothing, and how you express yourself is so detailed in what you wear. And 47 brand can tell a story with an outfit, and I genuinely believe in 47 brand wholeheartedly. We're going to be wearing 47 brand all the time. You guys have seen me wearing it all the time already. Click the link in the description. Shop for your favorite NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, NCAA, minor league baseball, NASCAR, and now soccer as well. All you Arsenal, Liverpool, and West Ham fans, they've got official gear for you as well on their website. Click the link in the description. Use our link when you shop 47 brand. It really helps us. It helps us continue to build this partnership with them. So use our link, shop all your favorite sports teams with 47 brand, and look your best when you're out tailgating, when you're at the games, out at the bar, hanging out at home, whatever it may be. Look your best in 47 brand. Welcome aboard to the Underground Sports Philadelphia family, 47 brand. I'm ecstatic. I'm beyond ecstatic, guys. So thank you to 47 brand for believing in us, and let's take this thing to the moon. But without any further ado, let's get into some voicemails. We got 2 voicemails for you guys. Leave a voicemail at any time. Speakpipe.com. That's speakpipe.com/Underground Sports Philadelphia. You can leave us a voicemail anytime. It's open 24/7, and we'll play them on the show. So here are our voicemails.
Eagles suck so bad. Fire Nick ASAP. Fire him tomorrow on Columbus Day and send Big Dom with him too, just for the content of it. Fire both of them. Start fresh. Bill Belichick, welcome to Philly. Go Birds.
What's up, Underground Sports? It's your boy Joe, and man, that thing was brutal, man. Stat sheets doesn't look too bad. Jalen had a good game. Obviously, AJ had a good game. Just kind of the worst running attack I've seen from the Eagles in a while. And man, does that raise a red flag, because we are a smash mouth type football team, and we're just not playing like it. Defense looked fine, I guess. the Browns are just so anemic on offense. It's really not hard to cover. We can grab 4 people from the stands and throw them in the DB slot, and they'll be fine. Sirianni shaving his head and talking shit after the game. I mean, it just feels like the beginning of the end for this guy. Just clown behavior when you come in as an 8.5-point favorite and you don't cover. You look like you're going to lose the game. I mean, you don't even do anything on the sideline except call bad timeouts and have really bad fourth down decision making. So I don't really know where the Eagles go from here. Is it Bill Belichick? Is it waiting for Ben Johnson to come free? I don't get paid to make that decision, but obviously Jeffrey Lurie is up there in the penthouse really, really thinking about this one. So appreciate you guys.
I'm Mayor Anthony Finucci. If you're looking for the right location, think Vineland, New Jersey. Our pro-business approach is supported by financial incentives, workforce development programs, and other resources which can give your business a competitive edge. Whether you're starting a new business or expanding to new markets, our business environment, infrastructure, accessibility, and quality of life make Vineland an ideal location. More information about how we can help your business grow can be found at vinelandcity.org. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
Shout out to OG producer Tyler Steinbrine and my guy Joey from the PLL calling in to talk about the Birds on our voicemail line. Like I said, leave us a voicemail at any time. Speakpipe.com/undergroundsportsphiladelphia. Bill Belichick ain't coming here, guys. I'll tell you that much. Bill Belichick is doing his thing at Underdog Fantasy. He's doing his thing on the Manning Cast. He's doing his thing on the Pat McAfee Show. He's totally content not coaching this year. He ain't coming here. Sirianni's not getting fired during the season either unless something goes catastrophically wrong. Jeffrey Lurie is known to ride things out. And even when things were going catastrophically wrong with Chip Kelly back in 2015, he waited until 1 week left in the season to fire him. Sirianni's not going anywhere unless something, like I said, goes catastrophically wrong. This is what I'm talking about, though. The doom and gloom about the antics of the coach when the team, for the most part, did what they had to do. They're a blocked field goal away from this game being at least 23-9. Then they cover, Joey. It's just unfortunate alignment there on the special teams play on the field goal that got blocked by Jake. And returned by Rodney McLeod of all people. But, you take that into account. And again, I'm not saying that's not what happened. So you can't what if that either. But positives. There's a lot more positives from this game that outweigh the negatives. I mean, it's unbelievable how much the positives outweigh the negatives. And after this game, do I feel great about the Eagles? No. Do I feel good about the Eagles? To a degree. There's a lot to feel good about from this game. It's a positive step. You win this game. You're above 500 again. You're 3-2 going into a game against the New York Giants up at the Meadowlands next Sunday. And your next 4 games are against subpar teams, at the Giants, at the Bengals, home against the Jaguars, and at the Cowboys. Those are 4 winnable games. We're going to learn a lot about the Eagles in the next 4 games. Okay? We're going to learn a lot about what this team is going to be this season in the next 4 games. The next 4 games are going to tell the tale. The tale of the tape will be if this team is not a playoff team, if this team is a wild card team, if this team has a chance to still win the division, what it's going to be. Those are kind of the outcomes there. You're not going to be the number 1 seed in the NFC this year. It's just not the case. That's not where this team is, and that's fine. But you're going to figure out if you're going to be a division winner, if you're going to be a playoff team as a wild card, whatever it may be, or if you're not going to make the playoffs. This next month is going to determine that. Because after that, you play the Commanders at home, you go to LA to play the Rams, you go to Baltimore to play the Ravens. That's a tough 3-game stretch right there. And then your final quadrant, home against the Panthers, home against the Steelers, at the Commanders, home against the Cowboys, home against the Giants. This next span is going to tell us a lot about this Eagles team. I'm not believing any of the Belichick stuff or people wish casting that. It's just not in the cards. Don't hype yourself up for it. Ben Johnson, maybe at the end of the season, if this all goes awry and he's willing to leave Detroit, I would throw the bag at him for sure. Because that dude's creative as all hell, and I think he's going to be a damn good head coach somewhere in this league one day. More than likely 2025. But I'm not worried about that right now. You know, you can't get too far ahead of yourself in the NFL. It will literally drive you insane. It's a week-to-week league. You have to take each week for what it is. Just take it in. Don't rush things to go through and force a season away. I feel like we did that all too much last year. We were forcing stuff away to get to the playoffs, and then look what happened. Take it week by week. This week was a win. The positives far outweigh the negatives. And if you are hampering on Nick Sirianni bantering with the fans, him bringing his kids up to the press conference, whatever it may be, you are focusing on the wrong shit and you're doing so many people a disservice with your quote-unquote coverage of this football team. Now, one last thing I want to touch on with this Eagles football team, and it is brought to you by our awesome pals over at FOCO, the leaders in forever collectibles, from their absolutely incredible bobbleheads to the overalls and shortalls you guys have seen me wearing and have talked about, to the velour tracksuits that I'm probably going to invest in because those things look comfy, to some of the best fandom apparel and collectibles you will ever find. It is so unique, and it's only available at FOCO. They will make sure that you are covered and look your best fan as possible. They have brand new neon lights and neon light chains. We're getting the Eagles and Phillies ones for down here in the studio because they are must-haves. So get yours as well. Get your shortalls and overalls for the Birds, velour tracksuits. Get your overalls for the Phillies next season already. And I can't wait to see what they roll out for the Sixers and the Flyers because we already know it's going to be absolute heat. Click the link in the description and step your game up as a fan and step your collectibles game up as a fan with our pals over at FOCO. And we thank FOCO for being proud partners of Underground Sports Philadelphia. The other thing that is being so pushed to the side in this game, Brandon Graham just played in his 200th NFL game. 200 games for Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham was unwanted here when he was drafted. Brandon Graham was an afterthought when he was drafted. Brandon Graham was getting forced out of town by probably the same people who are complaining about Sirianni's kids being up at the podium for the press conference when he was drafted. Brandon Graham is a Philadelphia success story like no other. Being drafted 10th overall. And in a spot where he wasn't wanted. Nobody wanted Brandon Graham. I'm sorry, he was drafted in 2010, Brandon Graham was drafted 13th overall. And he wasn't wanted because he was viewed as this tweener, linebacker, edge rusher when everyone wanted a Brian Dawkins replacement in Earl Thomas. Guess who's not playing in the NFL right now? That's what I thought. Brandon Graham was on this team with Andy Reid. He was on this team with Chip Kelly, and it did not look like green pastures for Brandon Graham when Chip Kelly was here. And then Doug Peterson comes in and really, really cranks up Brandon Graham's career. Doug Peterson and bringing in the coaching staff that he did genuinely salvaged Brandon Graham's career in Philadelphia. It could have come to an abrupt close after Chip Kelly. But Brandon Graham kept working. He kept grinding. He never quit on himself. He never quit on his team. And he is viewed as a member of the core four of this franchise. Jason Kelce, Fletcher Cox, himself, and Lane Johnson. Drafted back-to-back years. 2010 was Brandon Graham. 2011 was Jason Kelce. 2012 was Fletcher Cox. 2013 was Lane Johnson. 2015, Brandon Graham was playing outside linebacker for this team. But then 2016 rolls around, and he's going back to defensive end. He's playing on the left side, but then they switch him to the right side. And Brandon Graham's career in 2016, he got second team all Associated Press. He was AP second team. Brandon Graham made a Pro Bowl in 2020 under Doug Peterson. He finished fourth in Comeback Player of the Year in 2022 after he was out injured in 2021 after playing 2 games. Brandon Graham's story in Philadelphia is one that we will remember forever, and how he went from unwanted draft pick in the first round to franchise legend. He made the defining play that clinched the Eagles' first and to this point only Super Bowl championship in franchise history. Brandon Graham is a guy who I would go to bat for, and I am very stickler on this type of situation. Brandon Graham, when his career comes to a close, and I know he's talked about this year, it may not be the end. Brandon Graham deserves to get his jersey retired by the Philadelphia Eagles. 55 should not be worn ever again in a Philadelphia Eagles uniform after Brandon Graham's career comes to a close. He's that iconic and that important to the story of this franchise. And I know there's some numbers up there that I genuinely don't think should be retired. They should be in the Eagles Hall of Fame, whatever it may be. Brandon Graham has the most iconic moment in franchise history, has one of the most iconic stories in franchise history, and will play his entire NFL career in a Philadelphia Eagles uniform. To me, to have a 15-year career in the same uniform in the NFL and you're not a quarterback, let's remember that too. You're not a quarterback. To me, Brandon Graham's resume, 200 games in an Eagles uniform and counting. To me, that screams nobody should wear 55 ever again. Congratulations to a certified legend, an absolute fan favorite, and a franchise icon, Brandon Graham. 200 career games in the NFL, all in an Eagles uniform. That's special stuff, man. BG is a one of a kind, and I am genuinely such a fan, have been a fan for a long time, and to see the success story that he has become and what an inspiration he should be is truly special. And I love that he's embracing, when the time comes, he's going to be working with the franchise and staying with the organization. Brandon Graham is a legend, guys. And 200 career games, all in an Eagles uniform, should not be forgotten or sneezed at or brushed to the side or not talked about enough. That is an amazing accomplishment. BG, we are all so proud of you. You're a rock star in this city. You're a rock star in the NFL. And thank you for being the epitome of what it means to be a Philadelphia Eagle. The Eagles win, baby. That's a win. We're on to the New York Giants. Next episode, I'll be talking some Flyers. I'll be talking some Michkov mania as the Flyers start their season with a big-time win, as well as Michkov getting his first point in the first loss of the season. We'll get ready for more Eagles football. We'll talk a little Sixers. We'll see what's cooking up across the board. But thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to leave us a voicemail, speakpipe.com/undergroundsportsphiladelphia. Go get your 47 brand gear, guys. 47 brand is an official partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. Let's go. Be sure to follow us on social media, Underground Sports Philadelphia, wherever you are consuming your social media content. Follow me at KBIZZL311 and KBIZZLE11. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple and Spotify. Shout out to all our Spotify listeners for bearing with us when our feed was down. It is back up and running. But subscribe to the pod on Apple and Spotify. Subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. Let's complete the Canto Decks of getting to 1,000 subscribers. Leave a like on the video. Drop a comment, your favorite Brandon Graham moment so far through 200 games in an Eagles uniform, and your thoughts on this Eagles game and this Eagles win. Let me know if you think people are making too much of this Sirianni situation like I do, or if you are genuinely annoyed by him and just sick of everything and you can't enjoy a win. Ring the bell icon so you know when new videos go live. Get your merch from our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. That's phiapparel.co is the place to do it. Fill up your cart, go get your merch, and when you go to checkout, use code UNDERGROUND for 10% off your next merch order. Click the link in the description or go to phiapparel.co and use code UNDERGROUND for 10% off your next merch order. And, of course, guys, this show is presented by the City of Vineland. And whether you're a company looking to expand, relocate, or you're a new business startup, selecting the right location is critical to your success. Vineland, New Jersey offers both an affordable business location and an excellent quality of life. The city's economic development department is a one-stop source for moving your project through the development and approval process, and their goal is to make this process as smooth as possible and to provide the fastest turnaround times in the region. If you're considering potential locations for your operation, contact the Vineland Economic Development Team at 856-794-4100. That's 856-794-4100. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. This has been episode number 681 of Victory Episode. Let's not lose sight of it. V for Victory. A Victory episode of Underground Sports Philadelphia. Episode number 681. I'm your boy KB. It's always bang, bang, bird gang, go birds. I'll catch you guys on the next episode as we get more excited for more fun, seeing what the hell else comes our way. But until then, I'm getting the heck up out of here, and I'm signing off. Peace.